Hello, episode 17 of my playthrough of Stationeers on Stationeer difficulty on EUROPA 200-minute day-night cycle via console hack. It's the 1st of November 2025. What you can see over there is the current project. Our rocket. Yeah, I finally got into rocketry and I did one in creative and it worked. And I could even land it without crashing on the first attempt. Not bad. And now I intend on building a gas engine. I mean, there are four types of engines, or two types of engines. One is a liquid engine with liquid fuel, and one is a gas engine. But of these, we have two variants each. One that is pumped, and one that's just pressure-fed. I've chosen a pressure-fed gas engine here. In my creative attempt, I had a pressure-fed liquid engine. That's the most effective one. I didn't even know that. It sounded right, you know. But there I could easily achieve the required fuel. Here I would have to make that myself. And since I want to get this thing off the ground as soon as possible, I've chosen to, well, to lug my fuel tank. Oh, maybe I should bring a portable connector into the airlock, because I just want to use that fuel. And the next thing then, once this rocket flies and works and all that, is to make a fuel mixer. And what do I need for that? Volatiles. The rest is right here in the atmosphere. Oh, I forgot my jetpack, I believe. Yep. That's the alert. Yeah, I was refilling my jetpack when the previous episode ended. Here's the automatic refiller for my thingies. And there you go. Wonder if I can even carry this thing. Oh, yeah, I can. Behold my prowess. For I can carry the gas tank. And I will plug it right here into the rocket now. Yeah, let's put it in here, lest a storm blows it away. Oh, what's with the frame freezes? Okay, so what is this? Here we have some area to build on, and there is a hole in there where there's no frame. And the launch mount is a thing that I printed with the rocket manufacturer, and I placed it here. That's why there's a hole. That's what's necessary. But actually, what's necessary is there's a frame here and there, and on all four sides. Then I placed one of the fuselage kits thingies, and that is the I don't know what it is. It's a engine mount. Yeah, I think so. Then I printed the engine and I placed it from below here. There you can see it. Well, the rocket ultimately consists of primarily, of course, the engine, but then there's up here the downlink, which connects to the rocket computer down there with the rocket motherboard. And here we have the avionics. They know basically about the rocket and how fast it is and all that stuff. And you need one of these and you need one of those, and both of them need to be connected to each other. They don't need to be powered. Once they are connected, once they are both in the rocket and are connected with each other, the computer allows you to select the rockets. Yeah, never mind Suit Lady, she's a bit crazy sometimes. Yeah, and this is a power umbilical. There are four types of umbilicals: gas, liquid, power, and chutes. Indeed, you can transport things, items with such a rocket. So I could make a launch mount downhill in 5 kilometers distance or whatever, launch with this thing and land over there. I have not done this. I mean, I have basically no experiences with rockets yet, except for my one creative experience that I thankfully recorded, because indeed I figured out the rocket in that video. That was the goal. That's why I recorded that. But then it turned out to be a good enough video to tell others how this works, and so then, yeah, I also published it. That's why there's an inferior, but otherwise pretty much effective tutorial. Okay, so here we have the backside of the power umbilical, and that goes into the smallest rocket, into the smallest battery that I could find. Because I want to find the limits of this. So I'm first choosing to use basically the crappiest equipment to find out where is the actual limitation. So here we have 3 scanner devices, and on those I stuck scanner heads, which define then the purpose of that scanner. This is a deep miner scanner. I have 2 of these because I want to see if I turn both of them on, will that make the scanning of the deep miner map of the moon faster or not? It shouldn't make that faster, since that thing is orbiting at a certain speed. Why should that suddenly make that faster? Because it's being painted over within a sinus curve according to the orbit of the rocket. So why should 2 scanners magically make that faster? That doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying it does. This is an experiment. And there's the general rocket scanner head that would allow me to find out the next region where there's a question mark and so forth. And they will consume quite some power. And so this rocket will probably fail. Of course, I'm going to try to salvage it to, like, oh, this is not working out, switch everything off, land again, this kind of stuff. That's what I'm trying to achieve. There is the engine. There is the fuel gas that is to be pumped in there. Here's the pump, there will pump that. And what's cool is that anything that is on a rocket, even without its data port connected, you just need the power, will be transmitted to the rocket computer, since we have the downlink. So let's take a look at the rocket computer. No. The rocket manufacturing. Here we have the logic uplink, and if I open this, we should basically not see any rocket stuff since the uplink is switched off. Let's see, rocket avionics. Okay, I get the connection here. What is this? Is this a bug or is this me being stupid again? Connected to logic rocket downlink. Access butt plug 1. Yeah, it's a very short rocket, so I thought it needs a name. If I turn this on, will there be anything different here? Logic rocket downlink. There it is. Required power 50 watts. And I can turn various things on and off. You can see, can you? Avionics. Let's turn the avionics on. You can see on the left some values that the avionics gives us. If I turn off the battery, then the values go away too. Because obviously there's no power that could power the rocket avionics, which are hanging from that thing. So what happens if I turn this thing off? Any difference? The downlink is still listed here. Let's turn the battery on. No, I don't see a difference. Why is that thing then a thing that you have to turn on? Or is it a bug or whatever? Butt plug 1 has run out of fuel. It's just a plug, man. It's not a vibrator. I mean... Oh, right. I mean, this... So this is the map. And then we have various places, for example orbit, which will become very relevant very soon, because it looks like the developers are currently working on orbital stations, which we will have in parallel to our planetary or moon stations. They will be simulated in parallel and you can fly from one to the other. Yeah. What's this? I don't know, I need the rocket scanner. The rocket needs to be up here and then I scan, I guess. I mean, I'm doing this for the first time. Location, butt plug 1, currently idle. But the rocket is not yet, well, space-worthy. It doesn't have fuel, and what else is missing? Anyway, we have the fuel tank. It's also connected. It's a special rocket fuel tank. So you will get some information about this thing. And yeah, I didn't show that stupidly. 1 second, please. Looking here, we can see the volume pump. I can click here and then I see all its parameters. The name hash, which is a constant, the reference ID, which is a constant, the prefab hash, which is the type of the device, which is a constant, the required power, which is also a constant, but here we can put a value. Or you can just click here. And this means that we can also decide the ratio, the speed at which it is pumping. And that's pretty cool. Ratio is a result. Setting would be, let's see if 0.1 is possible. I believe so. Yeah, it's possible. So it would be pumping very, very, very weakly. or monthly. Yeah. So just the power needs to be connected, and then you have everything listed here, and you can control it from here. That's pretty cool. And if I click abandon, then I would have to click here to really abandon it. That's pretty well implemented. The rocket would just vanish, and if there would be any liquid fuel, as I've observed, it will just fall to the ground and spread out. Right, no. I need to place the gas umbilical so that the gas tank can also get some fuel. And problem is I need to assemble the gas tank differently, because there's currently no way to get the... Okay, let me amplify the thrust a bit. There's no way currently for me to pipe to connect the gas umbilical to the tank, because you always have a 3x3 grid here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, it's a square. It's a 9 fields. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And well, I could connect it here, but this is the pipe that goes to the engine. So I need to connect it before the pump. Well, there's no space here, and I cannot pipe it here because the rocket is over here. So I need to connect the tank differently. And I haven't yet thought about this, but that's the interesting Tetris kind of game that you're playing here. Why can't I go in here? That's a bit unfortunate that we cannot duck in Stationeers. Good thing there's nothing in there yet. Okay, so the power would have to go down here. If need be, we can just pipe it through a pipe. Pipe it through a pipe. Where could I place the tank? Can also turn it horizontal, so why not? That would look okay. I could place the umbilical basically here where the arrow is right now, and then there could be a pipe right here that goes over here and connects to the tank as it is right now. But no, that doesn't fly because I need to connect the cable. Basically, I just realized I cannot place the tank in a horizontal fashion, because then there will always be a connection problem on one side. It needs to be vertical. Oh, that's wild. Well then, let's... Oh, oops. Let's do it like this then. Let's just connect it vertically like this. Down here, that would be too low, then I cannot connect a pipe to it. Here maybe? That would be possible. Then we would have some around the corner thing, and then another around the corner thing, and then there's just no place for me to put a pump. Then I would have to go basically around the corner, up to the side and down, and then, yeah. That sounds awfully complicated. But maybe it's the right way to get this done. I can also place it higher up here, you know. But I'm trying to be as space efficient as possible to learn for later, because I need to be prepared. I mean, this rocket will probably be total crap. Well, one tip is batteries and such are best placed up here, because they're really not needed down there. Batteries usually have an input on one side and the output on the other side, so you can place them vertically. This is a small battery. Medium battery is vertical like this, 2 blocks, and it has exactly as much charge as a small-ish station battery. Then we go up. Up again. Round the corner. Round the corner again. Where's my wrench? There it is. Around the corner again. then the volume pump, and Shazam. Okay, that seems like it's viable. So let's see if we can connect the gas umbilical to this. Trick always is to look here on the left side, this arrow thing that seems familiar. It's like a normal Stationeers connection thing, but then that goes here on that thing. And the other side that looks a bit weird, freaky, like a shower head or something, that is the side that goes to the tower. There's a variant here that goes around the corner that isn't currently helpful to me. And then there's of course this thing which goes into the tower, but that's afterwards. Yep, with this I can get some gas in there. Now the volume pump. That seems like pretty good placement. The batteries in the rocket charge at infinite speed, just like the batteries in the station. However, the power umbilical does not transmit power to the rocket at infinite speed. It limits that to 4,900 watts. When these cables can maximally withstand 5,000 watts, so there's 100 watts spare. I don't know why this much or so, or whatever. Anyway, that's what it does. So basically the devs are telling us, in your rocket you can basically always use the thin cables. Now let's place the umbilical of the tower, and then you will see some interesting alignment thing. So we have some arrows and shit, and it looks pretty complicated. Can I show that somewhere? Yeah, maybe you can see that at the bottom of this green build ghost you see some maybe switches or whatever. Yeah, but that's not what you have to put here. Let's turn that around. What you have to put here is this thing. It looks like a cyclops eye in the middle. And it is currently in the middle, but that's not where it belongs, and it will adapt. Behold. See, it was on the right height, and so then adapted. Let's connect the power. No. Yes. So it was really not necessary for me to use fat cables here, but I'm still learning. This is new territory for me, and I love that. Not just that, but also, since yesterday I got rockets to work, I immediately fell in love with them. I don't know if this will just be like an affair, or if this will stay, but currently I definitely want to fuck, so... Error, because there's no gas connection. But anyway, I should be... Oh, I can't. Cannot open when in error state. Open would mean that the open logic value, I guess, is flipped. Gas umbilical, which is a kit, and it has the umbilical socket, the umbilical socket angle, and the thing we are just currently fiddling with, the umbilical. And that seems to have, yeah, the open state, and that, I guess, is whether that is extended. I find it slightly annoying that this cable is just, it's like a pipe, like, but okay, I mean, there are some limitations that we have to live with. It is not nicely hanging down and being elastic in the wind or something. It's fine. I'm thankful for this update. So the rocket is, I believe, now fully functional. By the way, the rocket in Creative that I sent up into the sky was like this. I didn't actually close it up. And I don't know if there are any downsides to this whatsoever. I guess we'll find out. Now the trick is, how do we get the gas in there? I don't know how this will work. I assume it will work naturally. With that, I mean, I assume that if you connect a pipe to this in some tank, and the tank is 4 megapascals, then ultimately that will equalize to in there and so forth, and everything will be basically at the same pressure. And if I want all the gas from here to be in there, then I would have to use a pump, I think. Which means that there would always be some remaining gas. Maybe not in this extension thing, which is probably then magical somehow, but, well, somewhere. The umbilical certainly doesn't seem to have some volume, or at least it's not written here. Constructible in rockets, true. What? Are you telling me I can put this thing in a rocket? That must be a misunderstanding. Aha, and now it's saying umbilical gas must be built inside a rocket tower. So, found another bug. Screenshot. That's the angle, and it's the straight one. Okay. F1. Constructive and rockets true. Screenshot. So let's test what this does then. Here we have the gas umbilical, and I brought the gas tank. Is there some storm coming maybe or not? I mean, I'd like to know this. There is not. This is not a rocket, this is my lander. I put it on the roof in a box because it is a cheap, free beacon. And so the storm cannot take it. Has survived like
Hunger, caution.
2 storms already. No problems. This would probably not work. No. Needs to be a bit closer. Here we go. I don't think I have enough pipes with me. I do. Okay, save, analyze. What is the current situation? Excuse my tablet, it switches mode every time I turn it off. So here we have 4.2 megapascals pure fuel from my lander still, after 65 hours of playthrough time now, I think. Wait, before I betray you, let me just check. I wrote this down. It was a rough guess, but I mean, I did the math, but I didn't do it precisely. So in episode 15, which is not yet public, is saying that episode 15 is saying with this video we are at 59 hours playthrough time. Episode 16 is uploading currently, it's 80 gigabytes I think, so that's a ton. Yeah, it was 6 hours long. And that would make that then 65 hours, and now we are on the next episode. Okay, so let's see what happens if I connect this. Okay, now we have the gas everywhere, and of course the pressure is lower, that's logical. Turn on. Okay, the pressure in here is increasing, but why? Is it just spreading out, or is it being pumped? I don't know, let's see what's happening to the pressure here. 2.75. That feels like equalization to me, or very, very, very slow pumping. 2.74 megapascals, 2.74 megapascals. 2.7, well, 4 megapascals. So I would say that's just equalization, and I like that. I like that I will be in control. This is not just some magical device that does whatever, no, it just connects and then you are responsible. Ah, so let's install a volume pump then and pump everything over that we have. All the gas, and then I need to make a fuel mixer. Maybe I should already bring a tank for that. Should it be insulated? Do I have a problem with the volatiles cooling down? Yeah, I do. I do! Look, my deep miner facility. Iron, iron, iron. 1.5 kilograms of iron. Even though I just made 3 kilograms of steel. 3 kilograms of steel. Some remnants of which are still visible here. Steel. Steel. Silver. Don't mind this guy, he's just... Hey, I'm steel too! No, you're silver, you fucking asshole. A tank. A tank. I think I have a tank here already, I just don't know what its nature is. What does this indicate? It means that I have some cable stack that I nibbled from. It's not full anymore. And I might have to print in some more stuff. Where's my... Here we go. Here's an insulated tank. Okay. It's not much, but it's home. So... And maybe I want to bring some pipes, but if the tank is insulated, then the pipes should also be insulated. I know I already have some insulated pipes over there. And these are only 6. Yeah, and I remember I need to print a computer, because I want the map motherboard. And the map motherboard runs in a computer. So I need a computer. Gold. 50 grams. Don't I have more gold lying around here somewhere? Oh, I do. Yeah, good. Let's take that then. And then we need the map motherboards. And then I guess I will need yet another computer, because I want to program a fuel mixer. And that should be in a little house again, I guess. For which I should then bring some walls. Because we're doing things rather thoroughly here in this playthrough. For example, over there is an airlock. Anyway, so here we can shred things, which go into the shredder, which is hidden behind this wall and is automated. And here's a centrifuge, also automated. And so I already saw some balls rolling into the room and thought, oh, Invar, old friend, nice to meet you, and how's your wife, which I still smell of. Yeah, some walls. Walls. Flat wall for the ground, to decorate it, like here. And kit wall for walling. Maybe I want to print a few walls? Print another computer, which will require some copper. And, I mean, I went mining in the previous episode, but somehow I managed to only get a little bit of copper, so I'm still short on that. It would be cool if we could find some copper in space, you know? That would be cool. Yeah, here's an automatic stacker. 200, 500. Ah, come on. 200. Oh, when both are active. 100. And over here, it will turn off and spit everything out. Not bad, huh? Yeah, that's all I can carry for now. Not sure even if those stack. They do, cool. And there was a nice YouTube commenter, which, I mean, who told me, and I told that already in the previous episode, which was 6 hours long, EUROPA told me that the computers actually use different amounts of power. So I checked, yeah, indeed, the retro one and the modern one, the ones that we know, 200 watts, like we know. But the pretty new ones that came with the terrain update, the big ones that we can place on the wall or on the floor, the one on the wall consumes 80 watts and the one on the floor 50 watts. And I will just try to remember that by saying floor, that's bottom, and so that's the lowest power. And wall computer is like a wall TV, that feels kind of luxurious. No? Okay.
Oxygen low.
Shut up. A rocket. I mean, I think the name is appropriate, given how short this guy is. I wonder if I can make a rocket that only consists of the tip, you know?
Hunger critical.
And I call it nipple 1. Huh. Where's my spacesuit? There we go. The map motherboard computer should be placed here somewhere. I was thinking about the floor mounted, like this one, which consumes 50 watts. And maybe I can just put it here. I mean, it's a bit awkward. Oh, can I put it here? Oh. Oh, it's actually... I mean, then I can't see the rocket, and that's why I made these glass fucking walls. But, apparently the floor mounted computer doesn't need to be mounted on the floor at all. I mean, we can just imagine there's some thing behind it. The hell? Yeah. And that is for the fuel mixing thing. Let's put that here. As do we do with the pipes. Ah, man, I wanted to bring a volume pump. I have to complete it first. You complete me? Yes, I do. I do. I love computers, and they love me back, so to speak. I have been fortunate. Oh, I need to drink again, all that shit? There we go, the map motherboard. Link to scanner. Available scanners, rocket scanner and rocket scanner. I have 2 of them. Oh, I can only link it to 1? No, I can link it to 2. Huh. That's cool. Toggle deep minus. Yeah, not yet, Kamerad. Huh. Volume pump, I forgot you. Where would I mean, I think the fuel should ultimately be mixed, or like over here, so if things go really bad, the rest of the station will only look, oh, look, a hole, look at that hole. Alcohol. So let's bring the tank then. And then I can get rid of some of these nice walls and, yeah. As far away as possible. Wait, this will be not. This is actually not the fuel. Well, this is it's going to be volatile. So, this is oxygen, and these are volatiles. They should stay separate if need be. And I think it will just make that beautiful on the outside, but the inside will just be raw industrial backsides of these walls, because that is appropriate. This has possibly some bunker-like appearance with this extra wall amplification notch thing. And now I'm hungry or thirsty, or both those things in parallel. Racing each other along the highway. And a door should be here. This will feel a bit like a bunker because everything is dark. Except the door. Well, I guess a composite door would be appropriate for the right feel. The floor should be welded. Then there should be a computer here, which I stupidly didn't bring. Thanks to, I mean, really thank you guys that you're here. There is always basically good participation. I mean, thanks to you guys, I know that it's easy to make French fries and that they're really worth the trouble. And so I made them. And then someone else came along, whose name I remember, but I don't want to do any special favors in this very moment. Do I have plastic sheets? I don't. Who told me that I could also just make bread with wheat and again soy oil, just like potatoes and soy oil together, they make French fries. And the bread gives you so much more food. You can eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Oh, and finally you bite into your finger, but it's a long time. You have to chew and chew and chew. And you will taste bread. At some point you taste your finger, but until then you will, you know, that's right? Okay, good. Point made. Here I could use a small computer, but let's go with all these power-saving floor-mounted mega machines. So 200 watts, 200 watts, 80 watts, 50 watts. That would be an IC editor motherboard. I cannot complete the door, for I lack the materials. Shame, shame. So, with a mouse button this is faster. And the same cannot be done with food, right? No, it cannot be done. Bread. Bread, 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 bread. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. So, what are the plants doing? Soybeans are almost ready for normal harvest. Wheat is completely done, and then someone gave me a very nice tip. If you click here with the mouse button, that makes it so much more fast. This could be called a cheat, but maybe I'm just doing it more diligently or with greater dexterity. After all, I'm using both my hands when harvesting these things. So I think we can just imagine that away without it feeling like a cheat. This can also be accelerated. Okay, I need flour. And let's make that then. Well, it was already done, wasn't it? What is going on? 110. What is happening? Am I cheating, or is this actually the real amount? I think that's the real amount, because depending on duration, the thing that I have here is higher, larger. Anyway, we need 200 flour and 5 soy oil. So 1 unit of oil, 2 units of oil, la 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 la. 3, 4, 5. Make sure the recipe is correct, else nothing will happen. 50 grams, 150, 110, 140. I don't know what I'm doing. At 50 units, at 1 unit, okay. At 50 units. Will produce loaf of bread. cool. And these can be put into a stacker, and then they will become one. One with the world. And they will understand everything. Yeah, that tastes more fresh, but it's not for now. The smell of bakery in the morning. Ah, look at that. I didn't even pick it up from this stand, yet it is showing the correct content. But it wasn't fresh. You saw, there's no difference. Normally it does update, so there's still some bugs here. Man, I wish I could just fly over there and say, here's your $1,000,000, now fix this shit. Oh, my air tank isn't very full.
Air tank critical.
So what's the mixer again? 49% CO2. I believe that was very slightly above 50% a while ago. So the plants are doing what they're supposed to. Yes, a volume pump, sure. Pump. What for? For pumping the gas from the pipe into the umbilical thing. Could also use a turbo volume pump to pump that back into the pipe, but it doesn't help. It doesn't remove that, you know. What I can do is I can just connect the pipe, and then it will all be equalized. Then I unbuild the pipe bit by bit until the last pipe remains, and then I don't know if that helps. Maybe it does. Okay, so that is clear. What's happening? Yeah, maybe I could improve that a bit. Station 0 control, import. Edit. Do we have the stackers here? Is that for the stackers? Autolathe, yeah, okay, here we go. Deal with printer. Our printer is on load batch named stacker. I would just say write batch named stacker, setting 500 every time, so that problem doesn't arise again. Yeah, apparently I can no longer change it. Wait, maybe that's a matter of... Ah, yeah, now it's at 500. Okay. 5 steel sheets. Bop. Haha. Okay, so the fuel mixer room has a computer, but it doesn't have an IC editor motherboard, nor has an IC or an IC housing. I could think about, well, let me think. A filtration unit or other such atmospherics device has a housing, basically, built in. Could I make use of one of these things in this particular situation? I need to get some gas from the outside with an active vent. I need a container where I will have some fuel mix from which I then can draw more stuff, and when the pressure in there has dropped too much, I will keep pumping more ready-made fuel mix into it. I don't know how to do the mixing yet. I mean, my go-to method is always to use a volume pump at full speed and toggle it on and off, but I would like to achieve a more elegant solution. Now, people would say, oh, use a PID, no problem. Before I can use a PID, I have to create a space in my head that contains the PID. Sorry. With that, I don't mean to have understood how to click and then it's there and then I can use it, but to basically, like, is if I would have developed it myself and then I find the real world thing and I can plug it in there, kind of like that. I'm weird like that. But I don't think we can actually benefit from an atmospherics unit there. An active vent though. Now that's a different story. The walls are no longer needed. I need to be able to close them though. And when I have done that, I will wonder, where is everything? Because it's going to be dark. So I should bring some lights, I guess. Do I have lights here? I don't. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Do I have cables here? Yeah. kinda, quasi. Let's bring all the cables. And then a housing. And then a pipe analyzer. Electrum. Do I have electrum? Of course I have electrum. 300 grams. Let's split it up into 100s and then the rest. So we have 200 grams here. The 100 go there. Didn't even know that needs electrum, this thing. Active vent, pipe and synthesizer. Seisendreck. I can basically not take anything else with me, right? I have the IC10, I have the IC housing. Yeah, let's not do too much here right now. Short look at the battery room, which was at minus 24 degrees last time I checked. Oh, close helmet. This is the programming room.
Oxygen critical. Low pressure.
Oh, I should have brought oxygen, I guess. I mean, this is just a rough guess.
Cognition low.
Nope. Death is around the corner. In Stationeers. Astronauts. I mean, imagine, flat earthers, they are such poor idiot souls, but, I mean, since Stationeers, these guys are in hell. Imagine, they can't play this. They can't play this beautiful game. It would so hurt them. Astronauts! Astronauts, I tell you! Oh, we have 24 degrees, so we have 50 degrees warmer than last time I checked. Yeah, there needs to be a cooling solution in here. Not now, though. Wind park is slightly bigger now. And the batteries are slightly charged. But we're drawing quite some more power now, so we have to have an eye on this. More lights everywhere. I mean, this power over here is ultimately coming from the battery room, so you better be careful. I love this game, I love this game. Should have brought glass, but it's not like I can carry more. I could... where could I place the housing? On the wall, basically. The noble IC10. It is now found to be on the wall. I forgot to bring lights, but I could carry anything anyway. Oh, I don't have enough of those guys. Huh. The shame. The shame! Dylan Moran, I believe. From whom I just stole this expression. Great comedian, really. Or was, I don't know, I mean, but, I mean, whatever. Oh, okay. Did I not bring the IC editor motherboard? No, indeed I didn't. Hell. That's why I don't have one, I guess. Oh, I forgot to weld this. And that would be where the gas comes in. Fuel mixer vent. Or should I call it vent fuel mixer? Let's call it fuel mixer vent. Vent. Tank vol. That's the computer. That's the fuel logic. Oops. And the sun sets, so the greatest station ever to be built on this moon. No. But it's the best station I have ever made, I think. Or one of the best, at least. Oops, that's wrong. It needs to be black. The shame. Okay, save. Test. 2.2 megapascals. Was 2.7 while it's cooling down. 2.1, but it's also cooling. Why is that oxygen? Yeah, of course, because it's fuel. Goddammit, what am I doing? So it's pumping everything over, which means that the pressure here should be increasing. And is it? Is the pressure increasing? It's not. What is happening? Why? Oh, I thought it was... Why is it... Did I retract that? Why was that retracted? Why was that retracted? Did I retract that? Huh. So yeah, it works naturally. Good. I was wondering what was the problem. So at some point we should have a vacuum in here. And yeah, that's what it looks like to be developing. So that's how we get all the fuel in the rocket. That's not much fuel. Anyway, in case you wonder what the rocket does. It does nothing. I would have expected for the engine to fire, that's how I know it. Maybe that needs to be on. No, that didn't happen either. Maybe that's because there's no fuel in the pipe. Yes, of course, I need to not just turn the engine on, I also need to turn the volume pump on. And then we see 1.34 kilonewton of thrust would be created. Oh wait, no, we have this weight of like 1 ton. We have a gravity of whatever that is. What should be somewhere here? I cannot see it for whatever reason. Here, gravity, and the combination of that with the weight is the thrust, is the weight in kilonewton. So let's turn the... Why is the volume pump at this setting? I remember setting it to 0. Setting 0.01. Is it firing or not? What the fuck, man? We currently have 0.036 kilonewton of thrust, and this is the amount of fuel we have available. Ratio. Okay, let's make that 10 times stronger. Now we're burning fuel. Let's make that 1. Yeah, so in principle the rocket could fly. I think. Question is how long. And how much fuel do we have? This one's not yet quite empty, but almost. Did I just see something freezing? Oh yeah, in the world, of course. The products of the burning. I dislike the music. Go away, music. And that's in principle how you do that. With all these parts, and then you have some fuel in there, and then you make sure that the engine has something to chew on, depending on what type of engine it is. Like I said, 4 engine types. And if I let this thing fly now, it will possibly just ultimately fail, because the battery might die, or there's not enough fuel, or I have only fuel for 1 shot, and then I have to make a fuel mixer, which is the plan anyway, and so on. And so forth. Someone told me if you launch the rocket with the umbilicals out, it will destroy them. Maybe that's true. You know what? Let's just test it, you know? Let's just see what happens. Just for fun, and then load again. So I go and say the volume pump... Oh, the engine is on. The volume pump shall pump at a ratio of a setting of 100, that it can't do. 10 is the maximum. Ratio, yeah, then it corrects that when you leave the field, okay. If I now turn the volume pump on, without turning the gas engine on, the gas will not be used, and so the pipe will eventually be overpressured, of course. We don't want that, we just heard what that sounds like. Turn the gas engine on, and then look at the... Oh wait, maybe I should... Okay, I will just reload. Let's just see how long this will burn. Pump on. Set destination. And there it goes. And it will probably not arrive because the fuel will just not be enough. Yeah, that's the amount of fuel left. I'm burning through all of it. And you can see that the time to orbit is increasing and increasing and increasing. What's the altitude? Altitude is 200 meters. Slower and slower, and then eventually it mathematically extrapolates. It cannot ever arrive, and so... And now it begins to fall again. And that's the situation we're in. We don't have enough fuel in the rocket to even do anything. I mean, maybe I can get it into orbit, but I can certainly not land it again. And that would be too bad. I don't want that. It's taking its sweet fucking time. Is the engine still on, or is it just, this is the way rockets look? Ah yeah, now the engine seems to be off. There. What? It was not destroyed? And what about the umbilical? Okay, this umbilical is destroyed, and so is that one. So we have learned a few things. The fuel is not enough. We can launch this thing. It was not... So what about the batteries? The battery is this one. That's the maximum. That's half of a small station battery. That's its charge. It's slowly discharging because there's 60 watts being used. Fuel is used up. So with just one little tank of fuel that is only filled to 7 megapascals, we can basically do nothing. If we fill that up to like 40 megapascals, then that should actually do something. And I wonder, what if I actually, what if I step less on the gas? So since we want to learn something, I will now cheat and load that save game. I mean, that's what's the plan anyway. And just try to start this thing with the minimum extra kilonewton power, and then see if we possibly get into orbit and back or something. I mean, let's just see what the limits are. This is still learning experience. In a way, it's creative now because I'm reloading, yeah. So, timescale. Step 1. Set destination. Step 2. I want to turn all of this crap off. The automatisms, auto shut off, auto landing, no thanks. This is the fuel that we have. Then the umbilicals, can I retract them from here? Yeah, if I implement that with buttons and logic and all that. This is how you do it, and this target has been set. The pumped gas engine can be turned on, which will consume quite some more fuel, some more power. See here, 200 watts more. Here we have the volume pump, which is set to 1, which is very weak, 1 of 10. Turn on. So we actually have more kilonewtons thrust than we actually need. It will take 3 minutes to orbit. This is just a progress bar, indicating what's happening. I can increase the thrust and it will be faster. Let's do that. Look here at the ETA. Setting 2. Now it's faster. And of course we're burning through double the amount of fuel. Still 80 seconds. This is a log, and that was earlier information. I don't need this, just deleted it. Why does it still take 90 seconds to get there? Maybe I should increase the setting. 50 seconds. Maybe the less fuel is in there, the less the volume pump can do, because a volume pump reaches like a shovel into the available container, takes from it and puts it on the other side. Volume pump. It takes some volume. But if in that volume is now less a gas because the pressure is lower, yeah. So I'm setting it to 10. 15 seconds, and it's, yeah, doesn't work. The altitude is increasing, yeah, but that will stop soon enough, I guess. I mean, why is this time increasing and increasing? I don't get it. The ground velocity is increasing, and orbit is not running away from us. Why is it estimating this? Is this an extrapolation as to, I don't know, I mean, is it like the 5th abstraction of the current, I don't know. Okay, no more fuel. Height 22,000, 23 kilometers, 24 kilometers. You might be wondering, how can I so easily convert the values? That's because I'm not using the retarded imperial system. Well, 5 feet is 3.5 elbows and a liver. Shit, man. Well, obviously, this thing will now fall back. Is it already there? Oh, it is there. Or isn't it? I mean, why was the countdown? I don't understand. I don't get it, man. Maybe this countdown is kind of bogus or whatever. Yeah, but we reached orbit. I mean, that's wicked enough, baby. We're in the orbit. So we can learn something new then. Let's try. What if I use... On location I could now scan and such, but for that I would need this scanner. Let's first turn on this computer thing. The scanners are both linked. Turn on the rocket scanner. Maybe I should have given it a name. It was just called rocket scanner. Wonder which one I picked. Let's turn them all on, see what happens. Ah. It's now filling in the blanks. And the battery is dying. So let's go to location. And I cannot do anything here? Why not? Europa orbit. Current action none. Maybe I need to select something. Yeah. Can I scan this? What's happening? Nav points, site discovery. Set destination, recenter map. How do you do this? I don't get it. Why is the ground velocity decreasing? Is it still flying further away? Has it arrived in orbit or hasn't it? Current location, Europa orbit. Target location, launch mount. Yeah, that's not what I said, but okay, it's fine. Cannot set this destination? Or can I? No, cannot. Need to scan first. But I cannot scan. How does that scanning work? It doesn't make sense to me. Guess I have to watch some informative video over this, huh? What? I don't get it. Is there a bug here? Am I just stupid? Why is the rocket shown to be down there when it's not? Current location launch mount. Has it crashed down here? But then the launch mount would be broken. It's not. I mean, something's really not working correctly, man. Or it's being communicated very badly. I don't think there's something up there coming down right now. Really, it doesn't make sense to me. What is happening? Is it still scanning up there? Does it still exist? I mean... Turn off the scanner. Battery counting down, so that thing must exist somewhere. Supposedly it is currently on the launch mount, but that's not where it is. Next location, Europa orbit. What is happening? I must be a bug here. Sorry. No, I mean, seriously, I might be too uninformed, really, to have an opinion. But ultimately, it is telling me the current location is a launch mount. So I go out there and I look at the launch mount. No rocket. That's a bug. It's telling me the rocket is here. It's not here. Maybe it's destroyed. It's not. It's still counting. Man, this is very disappointing that this is buggy. I mean, it's my first experience with this, or second, and it's already failing me. Sad face. Let's try this again. Load. Want to try the exact same thing again? This time I just want to use the minimal thrust and keep it going. And that would be 0.5, I guess. Set destination. Orbit. Clear. Turn off. Turn on gas engine. And turn on the pump. Yep. More thrust than we need. We need like 1.3 or something, but we have 1.7. So that's a nice clean rocket launch. Music, you asshole. What are you doing? Acceleration. This and this fast. Fuel time is estimating how long the fuel will be holding. Is estimating this and this amount of time until in orbit. Oh, it's lifting itself very, very slowly. I wonder why it's not getting faster. I mean, the higher up it gets, the weaker the gravity. Thrust to weight was 1:1. Now it's 1:08. 1.07. That might really be related to the amount of pressure in there and the volume pump, you know? Yeah, it's very unfortunate that it's writing over itself. And why is it written there twice? Yellow here, grey there. ETA 5 minutes. Okay. Huh. Thrust to weights. It's just a division. We have this and this thrust. We need this and this thrust to escape the gravity. And that we divide one by the other, and then we get this value. What I do not understand is why the weight isn't changing. I mean, the gravity of Europa is changing. The higher up this thing is, the weaker the gravity. Very obviously. But that's not the case. The weight is still the same. And that is a bug. Oh, I think I just saw the weight change. 1.32 instead of 1.33. My screenshot still has a 1.33. Maybe the change is just slower and weaker than I thought it would be. Okay, double the setting. Map. Definitely need more fuel. Well, I use the smallest fuel tank. And it's only filled to like 7 megapascals instead of like 50 maybe. Though we must consider it was a very cold fuel, so that was also already very compact. So let's say 40 megapascal maybe. That would then be 10, 7, 5, 6 or 7 times more fuel than we have right now in one little tank. What's the ratio? It's falling, okay. Let's increase the fuel pump then. The weight should really be decreasing the higher it gets. Just don't know by how much. I mean, I can't really imagine that Rocketworks made that kind of mistake. What just happened? Did you just see that? Why did it just teleport up there? What the fuck? Current location, Europa orbit. So, if it's already there, then we can just turn off everything, right? It's still increasing altitude. Target location launch mode. I don't want any target location. Thank you. What? Current what? Rocketworks, you pushed out this rocket update in December 2023 and to this day it is buggy as dog shit. What is this? This is unacceptably bad. It is. Why is the rocket supposedly on the launch mount? I mean, it was flying suddenly, it teleported up here, then it turned off the engine, and then it was down here. Wow. I find that brutally disappointing.
Power low.
Too disappointing to continue with this video for now. I will do some research and ask around the forums and so forth. This is unacceptable. This is not the way it should ever be. And look at that. Weight is now 1.32. Now that we're back in on the launch mount, which is the lowest gravity well location that it has had in its flight, the other screenshot I have here is saying 1.33, where it was already high in the air. I mean, dude. And also, I mean, it's clearly saying the altitude is 20,000 meters. Why is it supposedly on the launch mount? Let's turn the engine back on. And the fuel pump also. This does make sense. Next location, Europa orbit. Current location, launch mount. Maybe, I mean, it's a bug, of course. It's badly, very badly implemented. That's just what it is. But maybe the moment it is supposedly current location in orbit, you know, that's what it said here, it hasn't actually arrived there yet. Maybe it's just the zone in which it is. Why it would now be in the zone launch mount is anyone's guess, because the altitude is this. I mean, let's just say this then. Let's go to the launch mount set destination, which is what the destination is anyway. Turn on the rocket, it is already on. Nothing's changing, even though we still have a little bit of fuel left. Doesn't make sense whatsoever. Sorry, I mean, I expected this to be an extremely cool toy, but it appears that rocketry in Stationeers is just garbage. It's an interesting looking thing that has been developed to 70% or maybe 80% of what it's supposed to be, and then they dropped it and did something else. Because that's what this is. Doesn't seem to be worth anyone's time. Apparently we're supposed to bug test this, and then eventually in a year or so they will turn back to this topic and may fix it. I thought it was actually completely released. Shame. Shame.